Markets as discovery processes. Markets are often discussed as if they are static arrangements, a fixed set of rules, a moral framework, a scoreboard of winners and losers. That framing misses what markets actually are. Markets are not answers, they are processes. They do not decide in advance what should exist, what should be produced, or how resources ought to be arranged. They discover those things over time through experimentation, error, and feedback. That discovery function is what makes markets uniquely suited to coordinating complex societies. Knowledge exists where decisions are made. Every individual holds information no central authority can access. Local conditions, personal preferences, timing, risk tolerance, skill, constraint. A shop owner knows which product stopped selling last week. A contractor knows which supplier is becoming unreliable. A family knows which expense can be reduced without real harm. A programmer knows which tools save time and which one wastes time. This knowledge is often small and specific, but is decisive. It cannot be meaningfully gathered and acted upon before choices are made. It emerges through action. Markets work because they allow people to act on what they know directly without waiting for approval. When individuals adjust their behavior, those adjustments ripple outward. Prices change, availability shifts, practices spread or disappear. Others respond without needing to know why the change occurred. This is coordination through signal, not explanation. Prices compress information. A price is not a moral judgment. It is a compressed message. It reflects scarcity, demand, alternatives, and opportunity cost all at once. It tells producers whether to create more and consumers whether to conserve without requiring either to understand the underlying causes. When fuel prices rise, people adjust behavior immediately. They drive less, seek alternatives, or absorb the cost depending on their priorities. Producers respond by increasing supply, improving efficiency, or redirecting resources elsewhere. No committee coordinates these responses. They emerge from millions of individual decisions, each informed by local knowledge. When prices are overridden, the information they carry is lost. Scarcity does not disappear, it becomes invisible. Shortages and surpluses follow not because people behave irrationally, but because the signal has been muted. Profit and loss are feedback mechanisms. Profit and loss are often framed as rewards and punishments. In practice, they are error correction tools. Profit indicates that resources are arranged in a way others valued more than available alternatives. Loss indicates that resources were used in a way that destroyed value relative to other options. Neither outcome requires moral interpretation. Both provide information. When loss is allowed, mistakes shrink. When profit is allowed, successful arrangements expand. Over time, resources flow towards better solutions without anyone needing to define better in advance. When losses are insulated or profits are arbitrarily constrained, feedback weakens. Errors persist. Learning slows. Inefficiency stabilizes. A system that cannot register failure cannot improve. Competition tests ideas, not people. Competition is often misunderstood as a conflict. In reality, it is a testing environment. Multiple approaches can exist simultaneously. Some fail quickly, some succeed briefly, a few prove durable. This variation is not wasteful, it is essential. Without competition, bad ideas do not disappear, they become embedded. They survive not because they work, but because they are protected. Markets tolerate failure in small doses so society avoids failure at scale. Innovation depends on permissionless experimentation. Most meaningful innovation does not begin with approval. It begins with someone trying something because they are allowed to. New products, services, and methods rarely look legitimate at first. They often appear unnecessary, risky, or even disruptive. If justification must precede experimentation, many ideas never exist long enough to prove themselves. Markets allow experimentation without prior validation. Success earns continuation. Failure limits damage. This is why innovation clusters where entry is easy and exit is allowed. Unequal outcomes are signals, not design flaws. Differences in outcomes are often treated as evidence of unfairness, but variation is not the same as injustice. In adaptive systems, uneven outcomes reflect differences in timing, judgment, effort, risk, and preference. They signal where value is being created and where it is being destroyed. Attempts to equalize outcomes after the fact interfere with the very signals that allow systems to adjust. They reward error and punish adaptation. What matters is not uniformity, but mobility, the ability to change course, exit failing arrangements, and try again. That requires freedom of action, not centralized correction. Markets do not replace morality. Markets are sometimes criticized for being amoral. This misunderstands their role. Markets do not tell people what they should value. They reveal what people do value through their choices. Moral frameworks still matter. Culture still matters. Norms still matter. Markets simply link action to consequence. When responsibility and feedback are connected, behavior adjusts. When they are separated, accountability erodes. The quiet function markets perform. Most economic coordination already happens without central direction. No authority assigns freelancers to projects across the world. No planner dictates which tools software developers adopt. No committee decides which cultural ideas spread. These systems work because they are allowed to discover solutions rather than enforce them. What comes after politics is not the replacement of markets with something new. It is the recognition of what markets already are. Markets are not machines to be controlled. They are processes to be allowed. They discover information no authority can possess. They correct errors faster than centralized systems can respond. They adapt continuously because failure is permitted. Understanding markets as discovery processes reframes much of what is commonly blamed on them and clarifies why attempts to manage them so often produce the opposite of their intended effects.